You remember the prophecy that in the end times they'll go forth looking to and fro for the word, and they will not be able to find sound doctrine? How is it going to be perpetuated? You have pastors everywhere, right? Let me explain to you how it's happening. It's already happening. As they change the word, the message will change. Okay, I started that off wrong. I started deciphering before the changes started happening. I completed it. My message has never changed. It's still the same as it was when I deciphered it, before they started changing the word. Now, it comes full circle. This sub-spirit ploy. Sub-spirits are artificial intelligence. It's ancient. It was in play while Christ was on the planet, being stalked by Lucifer, who was trying to thwart the crucifixion. You're given the example in a city, I forgot the name of it. I want to think Capernaum, but that's not it. Alright, but you're given an example where Christ goes to a city. He's the clone of God. And he can't perform any miracles, even though the people had faith enough to come to him to get healed. Because the ancient artificial intelligence, known to other timelines as sub-spirits, they had permeated the area with negative frequency resonance. For those of you who know the word, you know that Lucifer was taken out of the way before Christ was kidnapped, arrested, and tortured to death, executed by the Roman guards under order of the Jews, who were infiltrated by fake Jews who had immigrated to the area, who stood there and riled them up, much like the protesters do today. They're paid to rile people up and get the people in the area to participate. Well, that's been going on since Free Barabbas! Crucify Christ! That's how old that is. 2,000 years old. It's an old ploy. Now, another ploy that they've employed, so that, because, well, scribes and Pharisees still control the temple, the word that's presented to you. And when they tried to pull it away from them, and they created a Bible to tell you the truth, to decipher it for you, they came out with an official version immediately afterwards, called the King James Version. That's the government approved version. And the translators warn you in the prologue of any 1611 copy of the King James, warning you, well, you know, we don't want our heads to roll in so many words. This has got to read a certain way. We don't even have descriptives in the English language to properly translate from the original text yet. Right? And then you see that from the Bible that liberated the word to you, that you are not allowed to have. You can't even find one. That word has been taken away. King James presents it to you. And suddenly, God has duplicate mentality to King James, who was a closet, self-loathing, woman-hating homosexual. Now, if you're a closet, self-loathing, woman-hating homosexual. You will have the mentality the King James Version Bible presents God as having. A weak little faggot mentality. That was the first attempt to keep the word from you. And then there were entities like the Shepherd's Chapel crew who defied them and brought you translations to share with you what the King James was hiding. Accruing all this information from these various sources who gave us beyond the King James, I took the decipher and presented it. And it has not changed. It is still the same. Wow. This little Illuminati Christian thing, if they don't give you chapter and verse, they're from the devil. So Christ was from the devil? He never quoted chapter and verse. And he quoted you scripture all the time. He was the word. So he was of the devil. That's what you're saying. Because I don't quote you scripture and verse. That does not matter. That's written ink on paper. That's not the living word. That's not the spirit. But your pastor, who, by the way, during the Obama administration, to keep his tax-exempt status, his ministry status, signed a contract with the government that if shit hits the fan, you're going to a FEMA camp. And he's going to deliver you. Yes. Now, your pastors are participating in this by reading the word. As it changes, their message changes. I had to memorize almost all of the Bible as a child. I had to, as a child, become the Word. It had to become me. We used to sit around and sing songs, hymns out of books together. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. We had our own little choir and prayer meetings. When we didn't go to church, we had triple church. When my mom didn't have gas money to take us to church. Yeah. Spent a lot of time in the Word as it was presented. Seeing the ineffectuality. Because, well, your pastor is not going to present to you the Word. They're reading verses that they have been taught to read and present things a certain way to inspire you to participate in their ministry, which is to grow numbers. You're saved because you put money in their plate and you say you're saved, but your life does not exhibit any of the power of that spirituality. So you do not defy the negative frequency resonance that is being perpetuated against God, Christ, and Lucifer, who will fulfill a work for God when he comes back here impersonating Christ, ruling the world for a growing season. Christ was here every time, or Lucifer was here. Satan was here every time Christ was here. It's recorded in the Bible. When Christ was here as Melchizedek, a king. When he was here as the Son of God, the clone of God. And when he comes back as the almighty reigning Messiah. All 3 of those instances have Satan here on the planet to act as buffer between the clone of God and the artificial intelligence, the sub-spirits. Okay? When Lucifer was taken out of the way, the sub-spirits immediately had Christ arrested and tortured to death. Beyond what anybody had been tortured in his Roman historic history before then. Yeah. And from that moment forward, 2,000 years ago when Lucifer was taken out of here, the sub-spirits, the spiritual wickedness in high places, they are sub-spirits who control subhumans that they placed in positions of power, positions of influence. You see, spiritual wickedness in high places. First time we were warned of it in Scripture, Satan was on the planet. He was still part of this thing. It was to warn us that it's not referring to him. If you only go by the King James Version, you don't even know the various degrees, the layers, the levels of spirits. You don't understand that there's artificial intelligence, that there's a positive frequency resonance war going on to create positive frequency resonance so miracles can happen here. Your pastor don't want to understand this. He wants your money. So he doesn't want to know how to heal you. He doesn't want you to know how to defy the things they will strike you with that he can't heal you of, because he doesn't understand that the Bible was talking about the war for positive frequency resonance. He doesn't understand what the Bible was talking about. He takes it and twists it into flesh and blood. Sure, Christ shed blood here. Christ suffered for you, yes. But that's only one part of everything. That's the key of David. Your pastor puts a key in your hand and he directs you to the wrong door with it. That key ain't going to open that door. You see? Meanwhile, you participate with the world. You get permeated, saturated with the negative frequency resonance of the world. You're dripping with their blood. Your spirit is dripping with their blood. How are you going to go through the straight gate when you die? How are you going to avoid the time loops described in the Bible that your pastor won't tell you about or doesn't know about because he's too stupid to decipher it? All he knows is how to get your money and grow a ministry and distract from me and keep me snuffed out so that you don't have this information. Right? They won't share it with you at any cost, but I can't give it to you for free. I'm the heretic here. They can't perform no miracles, and when Lucifer gets back here pretending to be the clone of God, Jesus Christ, he won't be able to perform no miracles either if it's left up to them. Yeah. If it's left up to them, their whole church would be sick. They ain't teaching you nothing. Christ tried to tell you, if you've seen the Father, you've seen me, you've seen the Father, tried to tell you in an era when there was no science terminology that he was a clone. Son of man. The genealogy of Joseph does not include Christ. If you don't get this from me before I die, and they manage to snuff out what I've shared with you, they will be able to perpetuate this thing where your charlatans disguised as your preacher that cares so much about you will be able to help them perpetuate where there's no sound doctrine left. There's nothing left for you. You're going to think that you can just believe in Jesus and say, save me, and go right on about what you was doing and never get any permeation of positive frequency resonance on you, which is the Spirit of God. My ministry here is to cause the Spirit of God, positive frequency resonance, to pour forth upon all flesh. That even includes you, my enemies. It might transform you where you ain't my enemy no more. You might wake up. You might stop helping them do this to me. You might help enable me to help some kiddies and get my license back or something, get to where I can get on my own 2 feet again. Because right now I'm down in the ditch where they kicked me. And every time I stick my head out, they kick me back down. Now, the Illuminati mainstream, the Illuminati government, and the Illuminati Christians are participating in this. I'm trying to find somebody here who ain't Illuminati controlled, with their brains riddled with parasites that makes them a zombie, that regards me as something that should be disregarded like you disregard 70 million homeless animals, okay? Because if they manage to take me out without you latching onto it, nobody else is going to give it to you. Nobody else cares about the integrity of the word. Nobody else wants to see God to stop being made a liar of by his own people. If there's 500 million Christians, there shouldn't be not one homeless animal. And there's 70 million homeless animals. And somehow I look like the evil one here for trying to address it. Alright? Some of you in your 20s, you look older than me. I'm 52 years old. I just woke up, so I look like death. And I feel like shit today. But on a good day, you can't tell how old I am. You got people half my age that look older than me. That negative frequency resonance is killing them. They will not get taught how to resist it, how to protect themselves from it. It's really sad when they're supposed to be Christian. They grew up in church. They're supposed to know better and they don't.